Hey, Coach. So I just want to walk through this onboarding system that we have here for Client Jack, and hopefully you can see me. I know the light in the background probably isn't the best, but we'll get through it. So in this, I'm going to walk you through everything step by step, but most importantly, why we did specific things for him, and yeah, you'll be able to apply this to yourself. So first thing is understanding why we actually automated the onboarding. So that with the onboarding, there was just a lot of stuff that he was doing manually that didn't have to be stuff that had no effect on the client's result or the interaction of the coach, but just stuff that he would have to do on the admin side. And there was chances for things to slip through the cracks that we didn't really want. So we said, right, let's set up a system to actually manage this. And this is where the 5 stages are coming from, where we have the initial stage, we have all the steps that have to be completed along the way. And then we have when they're actually fully set up and ready to go. Now, this is not automating the programming or automating the coaching or anything like that. If you wanted to do that kind of thing, that's a different route you would have to take. But for this is just to automate the admin stuff that normally you would have to manually do and check on. So let's see how it works. So the first part of it is the payment. We can trigger the onboarding to be coming from the payment. You can use Stripe, PayPal, all sorts of payment processors. But what we're looking to do is essentially have a payment trigger like Stripe. And this is all just made up data as well, just to illustrate what it actually is. So as soon as the payment goes through, it would then trigger an automation that would add them into the CRM. It would give them access to school, and then it would give them the welcome email. So as soon as the payment goes through, this happens instantly. On his side, he gets a notification. They're added into his CRM so he can see it really clearly, but that is like immediate access for the client. So if you have ever had it where you bought something online and you got no confirmation about it, you're like, shit, is it coming? Did I order? Well, they took my money, so it must be coming. That is a bit of buyer's remorse, and we don't want any of that. So this automation here helps remove any of that because we get confirmation straight away. And as soon as they go into school, they instantly get value. They can start working their way through the process. So the next part is they'll start going through school. They'll start ticking off all the boxes. They'll tick off, right, here's my contract and all that done, submitted. That will then go to his CRM and he'll tick it off on the client's profile. He has a little view on there where you can see the client's name and all the onboarding steps that have to be done. And then as soon as they click the contract, it ticks it off and attaches the contract to the client. So then if he's like, what did they say here? He can click on the client and it'll load up the contract there in front of him so you can see it then straight away. After that's done, the next part is going on to like the kind of deepest look of the training, nutrition, the goals, the lifestyle, all those requirements that's unique for the person. So to do that, we built him out a custom form because like Trainerize, Kahunas, like none of them form softwares were really letting us capture the things that we wanted in the way that we wanted. So we just built a custom form to essentially do that. So what it will do is there's 10 sections. It has like smart logic to know to ask certain questions if they say certain things. But essentially they'll fill in all their details about the training, nutrition, their measurements, their starting points, and give him all the context that he will need when he's going designing their actual programming and getting them set up. After they've completed, they have a little button that says, go finish your onboarding. As soon as they click that, that brings them back to the last part inside school, which is to do the equipment. Now, after they submitted their training, nutrition, and all that, that automatically updated on the CRM as well. So it ticked them off to say, hey, this person is another step closer to being onboarded. Here's all their details attached to the client's profile, and he got notified as well. So there's no, oh, the client paid last night. Did they start the onboarding? Did they not? We can see exactly where all the clients are all the time. So the last step for them is just to complete their equipment form. So they basically just fill in like where they're training, what email they want for the training account. They upload the videos, the images, all that kind of stuff of the gym and the equipment they have access to. And then as soon as they do that, that triggers the last step in it, which is to add them to Kahunas, to upload other details to the CRM, to give them access to the rest of the school modules so that they're fully onboarded and ready to go. All they're waiting for now is for him to design their plan and put it onto their training app. So that's essentially what's happening here. So it says, right, look, Kahunas activated, school modules unlocked, and then the client has flipped from onboarding to active inside the CRM as they have completed all of those steps going across. So that's taken them from like point of payments all the way up to being ready, everything up to date, knowing what's going on, just waiting for the programming automatically. He could like literally take a payment at nighttime. By the morning time, the person could be set up, ready to go. He just needs to do the actual program and that's it. So that is like the kind of onboarding process. Now, there's a few reasons that we do things in that way. One is removing buyer's remorse. We don't want that. The second one is making sure that nobody skips any steps. This happened to a client there, I think it was about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago at this stage now. But before we worked on his systems, he had a contract in place and he sent it out to the clients manually. They started working together. And about 4 weeks into working with one of the clients, he then got a message saying, "Hey, I want to cancel. I want a refund. That's not for me." And he's like, "Dude, I've been working with you for 4 weeks. It seemed like it was for you and all this." And he was like, "Look, I can't give you a refund." The person basically demanded, he said, "Look, it's in the contract. We can't do refunds." And then from there, he said, "Dude, I read the contract and I never actually signed the contract." And he ended up giving him a refund of $3,000. So we want to make sure that it's automated to get the contract out to the people and then notify us when they have signed it or haven't signed it, and it be very clear on their onboarding. So the way that's set up, they can't actually like progress through the onboarding until all the steps are complete. So they only ever have one thing to work on at a time. And until they complete that thing, they can't actually move on. So if you want, you have two options here. You can, one, send me over your onboarding and get it removed. So just pop me a message again with like onboarding and give me all the details of what your onboarding process is, the apps that you use, the way that you normally do it, all the different tasks that the client has to do and you have to do in between from when they sign up to actually getting them started. And from there, if I can spot any places that's like low hanging fruit to say, hey, use this, or this software and this will sort it out for you, I'll tell you there. Or if you want me to review all the systems inside your coaching business for free as well, just pop me a message with the word audit. I'll get you booked in. It's essentially like 20 questions that we go through, maybe 25, depending on the size of your business, but about 20 questions. We'll go through everything: lead gen, sales, onboarding, client management, check ins, churn, testimonials, referrals, all that kind of stuff. And then from there, we're able to generate a report and essentially see like, hey, this is great. This is okay. This could be a little bit better. And then from there, I'll walk you through exactly what it would look like to fix all those areas. And then you get two options. You get to see like, right, I'm going to wait on my own. I'm going to work on all these areas. Or you could say, right, how does it work to work with you? And then I'll show you from start to finish. So zero pressure on either of those. Hopefully this gave you some insight into onboarding processes and why you set it up certain ways. And yeah, if you have any questions, just pop them over.